Hey guys, what's going on? It's Lefty from 643 Productions back again with another video commentary. And I guess you could classify this as a real talk with a more somber tone, I guess, if I had to pick a word to describe the tone of this video as somber. So I'm going to try to limit the tangents and try to eradicate the goofiness that I sometimes get into and deliver videos with, because I want to be, if not concise in the time in which I deliver my point, I want to be efficient. I don't want my message and whatever I have to say about this topic to get bogged down by irrelevancies. But we're going to be talking today, for those of you that don't know, for those of you that don't follow me on Twitter, which you can do at Lefty643 or twitter.com/Lefty643. I was, for those on Twitter, were treated to sort of like a reaction set of tweets to my reaction to watching what I will call and refer to as the Bill Dwyer, excuse me, not the Bill Dwyer, the Bud Dwyer video. And I'm not going to link it in the description. I'm not going to link it in the comment section. I don't want any of you to link it in the comment section. If I see any of that, I will remove the comments. Nor do I want any of you trying to refer people where to find it. Like, just type this into Google. I don't want any of that. I want people, if you're going to find this video, you're going to seek it out on your own. We'll cover that in a bit. But I watched the video, and you got to see my reaction to it, and I was freaked out. It was later at night, and it shook me. It's hard to describe what it did to me. But I didn't want to go to sleep at that point. I didn't want to go in bed and have those thoughts just milling around in my brain. I didn't want to know what kind of dreams I would have as a result of that. And it shook me. And the reason I watched it is because, and that made me realize I am not desensitized. I'm just not. The reason I watched that video is because I was watching old Jimquisition episodes on the Escapist magazine. Jim Sterling puts those together. He is a great personality, very, very critical of the gaming industry, business, and the business practices therein, and but not in a condescending way. Well, in a little bit condescending way, but he's a great follow on Twitter. But it's because he loves games and gaming so much, and being a gaming journalist. He's a great follow on Twitter at Jim Sterling. I advise you. If you're into what I do and you're into how I think, I guess, you should also check him out. And maybe more than once it serves as a lead to topics. But anyway, I was watching old Jimquisition episodes, and for the first time ever, I had to enter a birthday before watching one of his videos. And I didn't know what it was about, but I knew that websites do that when you are being linked or redirected to mature content. I was like, well, it's a Jimquisition episode. I mean, yeah, he swears, but I didn't know what I was going to watch. So, you can put in whatever you want. So I made myself I was over 21. I am over 21. And I found out why. It was because in his episode talking about desensitization, the desensitization of video games, and those arguments proliferated by anti-gaming pundits and crazies, he was talking about the difference that we all know in here in our brains between fake violence, digital violence, which isn't really violence, it's just a digital depiction of stuff, and real violence and real death and gore and all that stuff. And he showed the Bud Dwyer video. And again, I'm not going to link it. If you want to see it, you are going to have to go seek it out. I am not going to facilitate it. I'm just going to tell you now, you're probably not going to like it. It's probably going to mess with you, because it messed with me. And for those of you that don't know, the argument, the popular argument proliferated by anti-gaming whatever people. Some people get crazy with it, but the more popular version is that the images of violence in video games serves to desensitize our psyches towards actually seeing and even committing those acts in the real world. Now, again, some of them go crazy over the top with it. I know there's some crazy lawyer in Florida that says that video games serve as a murder simulator. They teach gamers how to murder people and become more efficient at it, et cetera, et cetera. And those people are just out there. But the idea is that seeing blood and death and guns and killing people and war in video games makes it easier for us to digest and even commit those acts. And to Service's point, Jim Sterling showed the Bud Dwyer video, and I watched it, and I watched it again, and I think I rewound it, and watched it one more time, and I play violent video games. I have played games. I enjoy more gore in my video games. I enjoy my video games being more realistic in their visual aesthetics. And I enjoy games being more immersive, even if they are violent. And I've played games with guns and war and death and violence and guts and blood. And I've played all those things, and they are classified as violent video games. And I've even been classified sometimes as violent. But the Bud Dwyer video, again, there's going to be a lot of wang waving in the comments. I understand that. It's the internet, right? People are going to wave their wangs about like, hey, yeah, it did nothing. I've seen this. I've seen that. That doesn't freak out me. They're going to try to out-gruesome one another and say, oh, I watched this guy hack his nuts off with a machete and he had bad aim the first time. And that's not what the Bud Dwyer video is about. It's about messing with this. It's about like that. Ended. Done. If you watch it, you will see it shook me. It did. And I watched it, and I remember just sitting here thinking like, I don't want to see that anymore. I don't think I could do that. In fact, at that point, watching that video, just the way the shot and the framing and the way he was to where he ended up, I couldn't do it. I couldn't probably be in a war if I was in battle, and I saw my friend, my comrade, get shot in the head or die, and just bloop, done, lights off. I couldn't do it. On video games, I know for me that I know the difference between pixels recreated and being drawn differently to represent depth and movement and changing colors. I know the difference between that and real violence, and I want no part of that kind of violence. I want no part of that, and I don't think many of you do either. I don't think many of you, if any of you, really, we're talking really here, not your internet persona, we're talking really what you think inside your head when you see stuff, when you actually see stuff like that. I don't think many of you, if any, would either. I think a lot of you would say, no. I want to play my video games because it's not that. Because I don't really want to go to Afghanistan or Iraq and be involved in an 8-hour shootout, be pinned down by one guy. I don't want that. And despite what all the wang waving you're going to see in the comments, I don't know. I'm sure there are going to be people that lie in the comments and say, it didn't affect me because, it makes their EP feel bigger. But maybe there are other people that it genuinely didn't affect in the way it affected me. Maybe you're good at compartmentalizing your emotions. Maybe that's a good trait to have in a soldier. I don't know. But I know that I know the difference between pixels and real violence. And I want no part of real violence. And I'm willing to bet dollars to donuts that a lot of you don't either. That a lot of you know the difference. And so I hope I'm right. But it's just that there's definitely a difference. I am not desensitized. I am not. I know now for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, that I am not. And I'm honestly willing to bet that a lot of you are as well. But anyway, guys, that's my time. I got to get out of here. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to drop a like on this video. If you did enjoy, remember likes, favorites, comments, and shares via Facebook and Twitter. Do help me out. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you enjoyed. I am out.